Welcome back, everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the iPhone 12 Pro newly released and the Google Pixel 5. Now, both these phones are pretty new. They came out around the same month, and I can definitely tell you what's very interesting about both of these is that they're kind of fighting for the same demographic, but not really. The Pixel 5 is kind of the flagship from Google, but it doesn't cost that, $899 or $999, whatever it was. This is a $699 phone, and it's probably going to get even cheaper, in my opinion, and very soon. The iPhone 12 Pro, on the other hand, costs $1,000, and it's definitely more of a flagship device, in my opinion. This phone feels better, and if you want to pick up either one of these, I'll find the cheapest ones on Amazon, link them down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can see that I think the iPhone 12 Pro is pretty much the bigger phone in pretty much every single dimension, and you kind of get an idea of basically how both phones kind of look like side by side. Now, on the Pixel 5, we have a 6-inch OLED panel, and it's 1080p, and that's actually not a bad panel at all, as Google did a really good job. I think it's better than even like the 1440p panels they've made in the past. I think as a whole, it's definitely not bad. You have, very little bezel around the whole entire panel. You have a hole punch display, which looks really, really good. And for like a phone that's not even technically a flagship, but it looks pretty good. Now, the biggest asset for this panel, as I've said before, is that 90 hertz refresh rate. By having that in this phone, that really added a lot more character to this device. If it was just the panel itself, I think it would have still been okay. But the fact that it has that 90 hertz refresh rate makes this phone that much better of a pickup, in my opinion. Now, on the iPhone 12 Pro, on the other hand, we have a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED panel, and this is 1170 by 2532, so a higher resolution, more pixels per inch, and definitely I think probably a better looking display. I really do like the 90 hertz refresh rate on the Pixel 5, but even with that, I still think the panel on the iPhone 12 Pro just kind of looks better overall. That's not to say the Pixel 5's panel doesn't look good, or that it's not good. I think it's a good panel, but I think the iPhone 12 Pro probably wins in terms of just the overall panel layout. So in terms of the front, I'd probably end up giving it to the 12 Pro, but also when you look at the sides, you kind of start to see one of my, I guess not my biggest complaint about the Pixel 5, but something I really don't like. The iPhone 12 Pro has the flat sides, which I really don't care, like it's okay. It just feels so much better when you feel it in the hand. Like this phone feels really, really good. The Pixel 5, it just doesn't feel that great in the hand, and if you own a Pixel 5 or you used one, you'll kind of know what I'm saying. It just kind of feels, even though this is aluminum, it kind of feels like plastic. And even on the back, I mean, you're getting the frosted glass back on the iPhone 12 Pro, which feels really good. This aluminum, it kind of feels like cardboard, so I don't want to hate on the Pixel 5. I think there's a lot of, value in it, but that was just one thing that I really didn't like. The build quality is great on the front. The rest of the phone kind of feels very average. Triple camera setup with a LiDAR sensor on the 12 Pro, dual camera setup on the Pixel 5. And you're also getting IP certification on both phones, but it is better on the iPhone 12 Pro. You're getting wireless charging on both. You're getting reverse charging on the Pixel 5, which is kind of cool. And in terms of the outside, that really pretty much covers it up. In terms of software, though, one is running Android, one is running iOS. I can't even talk today. And obviously, I've said before, like the Google Pixel lineup is basically the iPhones of Androids. Stock Android, it's very, day one updates pretty much for the most part, and it's a very good experience. And for Android, this is like the cream of the crop, basically. This and I think OnePlus, but this is probably even better than OnePlus. The iPhone 12 Pro, on the other hand, is going to be lasting for many, many more years than the Pixel 5 natively, but there is always going to be custom ROMs and stuff for the Pixel 5 if you want to go that route. But I think for now, the 12 Pro is probably the realistic choice when it comes down to software longevity, but the Google Pixel 5 is still going to be lasting for an extremely long amount of time too. So in terms of the software, that pretty much covers it up. Now we'll go ahead and do a speed test between both of them. The Pixel 5 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset, an octa-core CPU with 8 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 12 Pro has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. So actually, okay, I cleared out all the apps in the background. Let me go ahead and load up their app stores. 3, 2, 1. And you can actually see, I've seen this time and time again, the Pixel 5 did kind of do better in that case. I don't think it was like, perfect or anything. It kind of glitched out a little bit, but I think the Pixel 5 was actually faster in this case than the iPhone 12 Pro. But the 12 Pro, as you can see, is overall smoother scrolling through than the Pixel 5. So that's something that's very important. The 12 Pro is going to get you a smoother experience right now, even though the Pixel 5 has that 90 hertz refresh rate. Now, as always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps that we can go and get into. Let's do stack. 3, 2, 1. And I think the Pixel 5 was faster in that case. The iPhone 12 Pro a little bit behind it, scrolling through and kind of going in and out. You can see I think the 12 Pro I think the Pixel 5 was faster there. Snake burst blocks, 3, 2, 1. And again, the Pixel 5 faster, iPhone 12 Pro shortly behind it. And again, I don't know why it always glitches up randomly like that. I'm clicking go on here, but I think this one is probably a clear winner too. That one was very, very weird in my opinion. Let's do Crossy Road, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully it opens up on both. I don't have to do something really random on. And I guess both of them worked. And you can see here, now I did have to put in my age, so whatever, but I think the iPhone 12 Pro was probably the faster one in that case. Gameplay wise, I mean, it was kind of hard to see since this one died, but let me go ahead and turn down the volume on this phone because it's very, very annoying. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see iPhone 12 Pro is faster there. The Pixel 5 shortly behind it, and definitely the iPhone 12 Pro was the faster one. The Google Pixel 5, it was behind it by a little bit. I think in terms of the bigger games, the Pixel 5 kind of does a little bit of a poorer job than the iPhone 12 Pro from what I've seen. And from what I've tested from even the Pixel 5, I've been testing this against a bunch of iPhones too. And gameplay wise, I think that one pretty much covers that. It's pretty much the same exact thing. We do Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And Pixel 5 actually faster there. iPhone 12 Pro shortly behind it. Let's do paper. I don't have this model. BOFA 3, 2, 1. And I think app loading is probably faster on the iPhone 12 Pro, at least smoother, even though the Pixel 5 is still doing a really good job. We can do Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 5 has been having a weird issue where it can't open it properly. And it still has the issue, so I really don't understand it. We can do Thank You, 3, 2, 1. And again, actually Pixel 5 was faster there. I thought the iPhone 12 Pro was going to be faster. That is not necessarily the case. The Pixel 5 was faster there. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. 12 Pro is faster. Pixel 5 shortly behind it. You can do Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. Now hopefully it opens it up on both, and it would be really awkward if it didn't, because I don't know what else I'm going to do. And the Pixel 5 actually was faster there, and the iPhone 12 Pro shortly behind it. Now, I read this report, and I wanted to hit on this right after this, that the Pixel 5 was slower than a lot of other phones, or slower than we thought. I read this article. I think the Pixel 5 is actually much faster than we thought, in my opinion. I thought it was going to be horrible. It's actually not that bad. The Pixel 4a was slower than I thought, in my opinion. This one is actually faster than I thought. It handled pretty well against the iPhone 12 Pro. Now, when you went ahead and compared it to the Galaxy S20 that I've showed it before, yeah, the 12 Pro, the Galaxy S20 was faster than the Pixel 5 by quite a bit. But in terms of the iPhones, it's actually been doing a pretty decent job. I'm actually really surprised and really proud of it, actually. And the RAM management may actually be better on the Pixel 5. As you can see, it restarted here. Let's go into Crossy Road. Both of them able to keep it up, I think, for the most part. There was a little tiny glitch on the iPhone 12 Pro, I think. Getting into this one. Okay, both of them were able to keep this one in the background. So I don't really think there's like a winner here. I think both of them are probably really, really close, and I don't really think I would, pick up one over the other just based off the performance. But I will say that Pixel 5 did a better job than what I was thinking it was going to do. So in terms of speed comparison, that pretty much covers it up. Now let's go and hit on the cameras. Now, as stated before, triple camera setup on the 12 Pro, 12 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 12 megapixel telephoto with that LiDAR sensor. The Pixel 5, on the other hand, has that 12.2 megapixel wide angle lens, then a 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now, you can do 4K at 60 on both of these phones, which is really cool. However, I will tell you, I think the overall UI looks and kind of feels and performs better on the iPhone 12 Pro, but you are getting a couple of more features built in on the Pixel 5. There's also a lot of different apps on both of these phones on the app stores where you can actually go and modify the camera a bit more. But I think as a whole, you're probably getting more features from a Pixel 5 camera, even though this one does have that telephoto lens on the 12 Pro. Now, I've already done a camera comparison between this, unless I filmed it. I haven't really, posted it yet, I don't think. And I pretty much found that, I won't spoil it, but I think the Pixel 5's camera is pretty good. There's a lot of capability. I'm glad they put an ultra-wide sensor on here. I'm glad they did 4K at 60. And there's just not a lot to hate on it. I mean, it's a very basic camera. It's a very good camera. It takes really good photos, really good videos. There's just not that much to hate on it. However, you are getting an 8 megapixel front-facing camera that can only do 1080p at 30. And that's probably a bigger deal, in my opinion, than the back camera between this, because 1080p at 30 is definitely not my favorite, in my opinion. On the iPhone 12 Pro, you're getting not only the 4K at 60 on the back camera, but you're also getting 4K at 60 on this front camera. So forgetting about the back camera for a second, the front camera is also very, very important. And I don't think it's like as cool to have like a cool, crazy front-facing camera. I think the back camera is something that's more visible. So the fact that this has 4K at 60 is really awesome. You're getting that ultra-wide sensor, you're getting that telephoto lens. So still a lot of capability. And I'd probably say the iPhone 12 Pro has a better camera than the Pixel 5. But I will be dropping my full camera comparison. I don't know when it's going to drop, but I've already filmed it. So whenever it happens, I'll let you guys know. Now, ending it off with the battery life, the Pixel 5 has that 4080 milliamp hour battery, the iPhone 12 Pro has that 2815 milliamp hour battery, and from what I was able to see, the Pixel 5 actually has far better battery life than the 12 Pro. I wasn't expecting it to go there because I, the 90 hertz refresh rate and all that, so expecting it to maybe be better on the 12 Pro, but it was actually not the case. The 12 Pro, in my opinion, from my tests that I've shown, I don't know when I'm going to post that either, but the Pixel 5 actually had better battery life by quite a bit than the iPhone 12 Pro. So to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you pick up the Pixel 5? Should you pick up the iPhone 12 Pro? I will tell you, starting off with the Pixel 5, there are a lot of pros for this device. It's $699. I'm pretty sure it's going to be cheaper in a lot of other places too. It's not that expensive of a phone. It has a very good screen, very good cameras for the most part. The front camera is a little off, but other than that, I mean, it's a very solid phone. Battery life is better than the 12 Pro. Performance was almost the same, if not a little bit better in some cases than the iPhone 12 Pro. And there's just not a lot to hate on it. You're still getting IP certification, you're still getting wireless charging, and it's still going to be supported for a long time because you have that, Google support. It's a stock phone. So that's something that's honestly very, very important as well. But the iPhone 12 Pro has a lot of pros too. I mean, you're getting, I think, a better looking phone, a better looking screen. You're getting a better camera on it overall. I think the phone is overall smoother, even though it's not necessarily faster. I think it's a smoother device. You're getting better IP certification. You're getting things like Face ID, which is something I really like too. And like I said, that better front-facing camera is something that's very, very important to me. And you have more storage model options. You only have one on the 128 gig of the Pixel 5. You can go up to 512 on the iPhone 12 Pro. So I don't think I would necessarily go from one device to the other. I think the iPhone 12 Pro is the overall better phone. But I think the one area that the Pixel 5 lacks in the most, in my opinion, is probably the build quality. Maybe the front camera, but the build quality just doesn't feel that amazing. I think the Galaxy S20 FE feels better than this phone, and that one has like a plastic back. Apparently this one's aluminum. It doesn't feel like it, and that's kind of unfortunate. I feel like Google could have done a little bit of better job in terms of the build quality on the Pixel 5. That's why I kind of think the iPhone 12 Pro is the overall better phone. I think this one feels better. It feels more than like a flagship. This is probably one of the most premium phones I've ever felt. I think it's honestly probably the better phone, but the Pixel 5 still has a lot going for it too. And if you pick up the Pixel 5, I don't really think you're going to care too much about the things I've complained about. But if I had to complain about something, it'd probably be the build quality. If I had to complain about something on the 12 Pro, it'd probably be the RAM management. I don't know why it's, as bad as it is. And also going from the predecessor, the 11 Pro, to this one, there's not that many crazy things that's changed, but other than that, I think that pretty much covers it up. Like I said, if you want to pick these up, links are down in the description. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really discount, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.